In the sweeping expanse of the sun-kissed savanna, where the wilderness thrived under the gentle watch of the azure sky, a unique friendship blossomed between Leo, a noble lion with a mane as golden as the sun itself, and Max, a loyal Labrador who had wandered far from his distant home. Max, with his glossy black coat and warm, intelligent eyes, was unlike any creature Leo had ever encountered. He was a domesticated dog, far removed from the wild instincts of savanna inhabitants, but possessed a heart just as brave and true. Max had arrived in Leo's territory accidentally, separated from a group of human explorers, his presence a curious novelty to the other animals. Leo first spotted Max one serene evening, the Labrador attempting to navigate the rugged, unfamiliar terrain of the savanna. Intrigued by Max's gentle demeanor and his obvious confusion, Leo approached him cautiously. Unlike his encounters with other outsiders, Leo sensed no threat from Max, only a kindred spirit lost in a world so different from his own. Their introduction was a moment of mutual curiosity. Max, undeterred by the lion's intimidating stature, wagged his tail, a gesture of friendship that transcended species. Leo, in turn, was taken by the dog's lack of fear and the loyalty he seemed to carry like a visible aura. Recognizing that Max was far from his pack, Leo took it upon himself to protect the lost Labrador. Over the weeks that followed, their bond deepened. Leo introduced Max to the ways of the savanna, teaching him which berries were safe to eat and how to find water during the driest periods. Max, accustomed to the companionship of humans, stayed close to Leo, his presence a comforting reminder of the bond that can form between the most unlikely of allies. Their daily routines became entwined, with Max learning to listen to the sounds of the savanna under Leo's guidance, how to distinguish a harmless rustle from a warning, and how to read the sky for signs of storm or searing heat. In return, Max offered Leo companionship that was different from any the lion had known. It was a bond formed not out of survival, but out of genuine affection and loyalty. One day, their friendship was put to the test when a wildfire swept across the savanna. A roaring inferno driven by fierce winds approached. Leo and Max stood together, the Leo as the flames and using his strength and knowledge of the terrain to guide. Max stayed by Leo's side, his loyalty unwavering even amidst the smoke and chaos. Together, they found refuge by a secluded lake, watching as the fire eventually died down, leaving a charred but calming silence. In the aftermath, their bond became a story retold by all who witnessed it. How a lion and a Labrador, creatures from worlds apart, stood by each other through a trial by fire. Max eventually found his way back to his human companions, guided by Leo to the outskirts of the savanna, where the explorers were searching frantically for their beloved dog. The reunion was bittersweet for Leo. He watched as Max rejoined his human pack, the Labrador's tail wagging furiously. Before he left, Max looked back at Leo, his eyes conveying a gratitude and loyalty that needed no words. Leo roared softly, a farewell that echoed across the now peaceful savanna, knowing that the bond they had formed would forever remain a part of each other. Lives a testament to the power of friendship and loyalty even between the unlikeliest of friends.
Once upon a time, deep in the sunny stretches of the savanna, there lived a young lion named Rory. He was a lively little cub with the shiniest golden fur and the most curious eyes. However, despite his bold spirit, Rory had one big worry: his roar. Every time he tried to roar, all that came out was a squeak. Rory's pride, especially his father, the mighty King Rumble, had the most thunderous roars in the whole savanna. They would roar every morning to greet the sun, their voices echoing far and wide. But not Rory. He was afraid others would laugh at his squeaky attempt. One day, King Rumble noticed Rory's silence during their morning roars. With a gentle nudge, he asked, "Why don't you join us, Rory? The savanna needs to hear its future king." Rory hung his head low, his mane covering his eyes. "But my roar is too squeaky," he confessed. "I'm not a real lion like you." King Rumble chuckled softly, nuzzling Rory with his nose. "A roar," he said, "is not just a sound. It's a reflection of who you are inside. You'll find your roar when you find what's worth roaring for." Not fully convinced, but inspired by his father's words, Rory set out to find something worth roaring about. He ventured far from his usual play spots, exploring deeper into the heart of the savanna. His adventure took him to a lush part of the jungle he had never seen before. Here, he met a troop of monkeys chattering loudly. Excited by the new visitor, they invited Rory to play. As they swung from vine to vine, a little monkey slipped and tumbled towards a fast-flowing river. Without thinking, Rory dashed after him, using his quick reflexes to scoop up the monkey and bring him back to safety. The monkeys cheered, and the little one hugged Rory tightly. "Thank you, Rory. You are brave," they chanted. At that moment, Rory felt a warmth spread through his chest. He climbed up a small hill, looking out over the savannah, and took a deep breath. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Rory opened his mouth and let out a roar. This time, it wasn't a squeak, but a powerful, resonant roar that rolled over the savannah like... Back at the Pride, everyone paused, their ears perking up. King Rumble's eyes sparkled with pride as Rory's roar echoed back to them. Rory's mother, Queen Lyra, purred with joy, and the whole Pride started roaring in celebration, their voices joining in a harmonious chorus that filled the evening air. Rory felt a rush of happiness and confidence. He had found his roar not by trying to be like someone else, but by being brave and true to himself. His roar was his own, and it was perfect. From that day on, Rory never hesitated to join in the morning roars. With each day, his roar grew stronger and more confident. Other animals in the savannah began to recognize him not just as a future king, but as a lion who had found his voice in a moment of courage. Years passed, and Rory grew into a magnificent lion, just like his father. He led his pride with the same bravery and wisdom that had helped him find his roar that fateful day. He often told the cubs his story, encouraging them to find their own roar in their unique ways. Rory's tale spread far beyond the savannah, inspiring animals everywhere. It wasn't just about how loud one could roar, but about finding one's true voice through self-discovery and courage. And so, Rory, the lion, became a legend, not just for his roar, but for his journey to find it. His story taught everyone that the true strength of a roar lies in the heart behind it, echoing the timeless message that being true to oneself is the bravest act of all.